An empty field, no roads in, no power grid, no water system, no kitchens, no toilet, no telecommunication infrastructure. Now, add 125,000 people at Coachella or 210,000 people at Glastonbury, which, if it were a permanent settlement, would be the 28th largest town in the United Kingdom. You have 3 days to serve them all food, water, power, medical care, and the most technically complex live entertainment on earth. Then, tear everything down and leave the land exactly as you found it. This is not an event. This is one of the most demanding temporary supply chain operation in existence. And the logistic professionals who pull it off deserve far more credit than they get. In today's episode of Logistically Speaking, I will tell you why. Glastonbury begins on-site preparation almost 2 months before showtime. By loading week, core structures are already complete and teams are testing sound system and adding final decor, not racing to finish foundation. The build follows strict sequencing logic identical to any major construction project. Heavy staging infrastructure and steel fencing arrive first. Sound and lighting rigs follow because you cannot hang fixtures before the roof trusses are certified. Vendor kiosks come last once the heavy machinery is off the pathways. The critical path is unforgiving. A lighting crew scheduled for Wednesday morning cannot begin if Tuesday's stage roof ran late. Every team's schedule is independent. Miss one window and the cascade affects every subsequent contractor. At Glastonbury's pyramid stage, the most iconic festival stage in the world, production crews work changeovers between headline acts in just 15 minutes. That means everything from equipment placement to cable routing is pre-planned to the minute, treating each set changeover like a logistic operation with a zero margin for error. Coachella requires over 10,000 crew members to manage security, transportation, and waste management alone before a single artist takes the stage. Power is where festival logistics gets genuinely fascinating and where Glastonbury has built what may be the most ambitious temporary clean energy operation on earth. As of 2023, Glastonbury runs entirely without fossil fuels. All production areas are powered by fossil-free electricity and solar photovoltaic and battery hybrid system. Every generator on the 900-acre site, including the pyramid stage, runs on HVO biofuel made from waste cooking oil, reducing life cycle of carbon emission by up to 90%. Even Arcadia's famous fire-breathing spider, the festival's most energy-intensive installation, runs on recycled biofuels. The festival uses a fleet of 𝐼𝒐𝐬𝐿 battery system to store renewable energy and a 28-meter wind turbine installed in 2023, which is producing up to 300 kilowatt per day, enough to power 300 refrigerators, supplying the festival's 400 plus food trucks. Total electricity demand of 30,000 kilowatt across the festival site is delivered entirely without a permanent grid connection to a Somerset farm. Coachella, meanwhile, uses 100% renewable energy to power the festival with solar-assisted charging station deployed across the grounds. In 2025, its official charging partner built an off-grid solar-powered supercharging hub serving the campground, showing how festival infrastructure is now driving clean energy innovation rather than just consuming it. The logistic lesson: power is no longer a unit you can rent. It is a supply chain you design. Food logistics at this scale operates like a compressed version of urban restaurant supply chain management, except the entire kitchen infrastructure is assembled from scratch each year. Coachella features over 75 food vendors in 2025, including Michelin-starred restaurants relocating from Los Angeles with chefs flying in from New York and Arizona. Every vendor must pre-plan cold storage, power connection, waste disposal contract, and ingredient supply for a 3-day service surge serving up to 125,000 covers per day. After a 2024 vendor scandal involving unpaid workers, Coachella 2025 restructured its entire food and beverage operation under a single operator, Levi, removing subcontractors entirely and accepting some risk of supply delays to ensure compliance, which is a reminder that festival supply chains carry the same reputational risk as any other global retailer have. Water is mission critical. Glastonbury operates more than 800 water points across the site, supplied by Bristol Water through main infrastructure with auto shut-off features for reducing waste. Over 850 refillable water stations replace single-use plastic bottle banned since 2019. Then the waste. Glastonbury generates over 2,000 tons of waste every year. Managing it requires a temporary on-site recycling facility built inside a large barn, complete with a conveyor belt sorting biodegradable waste, recyclables and general refuse, one of the largest temporary recycling operation of any event globally. The festival also operates over 1,200 compositing toilet and 3,220 long drop unit with sewage process with an 8-mile radius through a partnership with Wessex Water. US Music Festival generate an estimated 23,500 metric tons of waste annually. The average festival goer produces 2.5 kilograms of waste per day. Yet, only about 8% of plastic waste from festival is currently recycled. Glastonbury is proving the alternative model at scale. This operation leaves a lot of things for a logistic professional to learn from. Music festivals are not just entertainment. They are temporary cities built, operated and decommissioned on a fixed deadline with zero tolerance for a supply chain failure and no option to reschedule. The crowd arrives whether the infrastructure is ready or not. The parallel to industrial logistics are exact. Sequential delivery scheduling, critical path management, just-in-time vendor onboarding, real-time power load balancing, waste stream management, cold chain for perishable food, all of it compressed into 72 hours in a field with no permanent infrastructure. The average music festival produces 500 tons of carbon emissions over 3 days, that is 5 kg of carbon per attendee per day, with audience travel the primary driver. The decarbonization pressure that every logistic company now faces has been playing out at Glastonbury since the 1980s, with the festival achieving full fossil fuel free operation decades before industrial facilities are targeting the same goal. The UK festival industry is projected to reach $6.3 billion in revenue by 2025, growing at nearly 6% annually. And behind every headline act is a logistic operation more complex, more time constrained and more operationally demanding than most people running conventional supply chain will ever face. The next time you are in a field watching a headline act, look around. What you are standing inside is not a festival. It is a masterclass in logistics under pressure, assembled in week, run into minute and gone by Monday morning. Thank you for watching till the end. See you next week.